Okay, this video is called Health Eugenics, and nowadays what I'm seeing is it really matters for a person to be smart because it's more difficult intellectually. You have to know more to be healthy. You know, your odds are much better if you have more knowledge, and poor people and stupid people really get screwed pretty bad, and it starts right from the beginning at birth. The poor stupid moms, they have no idea whatsoever of nutrition. I can tell you, even a lot of female doctors and their husbands, male doctors, don't know much about nutrition, and they don't eat well during their pregnancies. Then after the baby's born, the poor stupid ones are much more likely to give the baby soy formula, not organic, with high fructose corn syrup sweetener in an aluminum container can with BPA lining. All that stuff is real bad for the baby, bad for the baby's brain. They'll also give the baby, they'll give a formula feed, reconstituted in tap water, and that's, got fluoride, neurotoxin, aluminum neurotoxin, estrogenic chemicals. I think they put a lot of estrogenic chemicals in the tap water as a way to feminize young boys, okay? Whereas the more smarter people, they're going to try to get the woman some time off for breastfeeding. The longer she breastfeeds the baby, the better. It used to be normal to breastfeed a kid for 3 years, okay? The minimum really should be 6 months. The poor and the stupid, they're going to go to public schools virtually always. Public schools are terrible. They cause brain damage. They're designed to make people stupid, conformist, obedient, low functioning. People who've got some control over how their children are educated are much more likely to homeschool them or to send them to a Catholic school or private school. The Catholic schools are not that great for teaching and education, but they're much better for social conditioning. Plus, they'll teach the Bible at least. Ideally, all kids should be taught about the ancient Greeks, the ancient Romans, the Italian Renaissance at the minimum, okay, and the Bible. If you just want to, have a general sense of what's going on in the world, you need to know those things. Let's see what else. They're going to have whole house carbon filter, kitchen reverse osmosis filter, or well water with no fluoride. Fluoride's a major brain toxin. All that stuff about teeth was a bunch of BS to trick the public into accepting it. Okay, if they're going to bring water to work for lunch, they want it reverse osmosis in glass, okay? All the, unfortunate dummies are going to be drinking tap water in plastic or bottled water for lunch at work. The wealthy and the smart, they're going to be eating whole food, plant-based diets. The more close to 100% vegan, the better. Ideally, everything organic, whole food, single ingredient only. The poor and the stupid, they don't eat anything organic. They eat tons of processed food. It makes them fat and sick. They often live in a crappy area next to a factory, an incinerator, coal-burning electric plants, paint factories, dry cleaners, gas stations, all that sort of stuff. The wealthy and the smart, they're usually going to be living in the suburbs with a big yard. What happens to the people? Well, the poor, the stupid, they tend to get fat, hypertensive, diabetic, all the chronic Western diseases. CAD is coronary artery disease, PAD is peripheral arterial disease, BAD is brain arterial disease. Okay, I just made that one up. Bad. I like that. Okay, basically, the wealthy and the smart, they'll avoid all these bad and bad with just eating a low-fat vegan. Lots of vasodilators in there, potassium, magnesium. The poor and the stupid also going to get a lot of abdominal pressure syndrome, a lot of autoimmune disease, whereas it's easy to avoid these diseases by eating adequate dietary fiber and avoiding processed food and oils. Okay, the poor and the stupid, often they drift into atheism. They got no clear hope, no long-term plan for self-actualization. They sort of live day to day, most of them, just trying to survive. No concept that it's even possible to do something creative and beautiful. Versus the wealthy and the smart, you're more likely to have a chance at, having, religion, faith in God, and having some hope, some optimism, some seeing life as meaningful, as understandable and rational, with a goal for the long-term future to develop something, to create something, to do something beautiful. The poor and the stupid have really crappy, miserable, low-paying, low-status jobs, often exposed to toxic chemicals. Well, the wealthy and the smart will often have tedious jobs, but they're not that bad, certainly nowhere near as bad as these. So anyways, that's kind of how health eugenics is playing out right now, and it looks like it's only going to get worse, but hopefully people will be a little bit more aware of what generates freedom. Christianity, Constitution, laissez-faire capitalism. So everybody's got an opportunity where you're rewarded for your efforts. So, and you have to have religion. Okay, anyways, hope that was helpful.